Thanks for the support as a channel member, Sam Bromley. I know this is unusual for one of my saves, but there's some financial difficulties at Barcelona, and they've cut £1.5 million a week off my wage budget. Mbappe's already gone. This is going to get brutal. Hello and welcome to Club 6 Part 16 and Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games in La Liga for you. We're at home against Sevilla and away against Elche. Them. Don't know. Since you're last with me, we have come into some excellent form. That's the bright point. Excellent form. Leonard's back. He got 4 goals in this 11-0 win that we had. One of the most ridiculous games I've ever seen play out on Football Manager. 11-0. And as I say, Leonard is now finally scoring goals again. 8 from 18 in the league doesn't really tell the whole story. Because actually, to be fair, he had 2 good games where he scored 6 goals. In my head, he was back. Maybe he's not. Maybe he just scores against the really, really bad teams. But the league is looking, it's looking doable. We should win the league. We play Sevilla now. Hopefully we'll beat them. It puts us up there challenging Villarreal again. As long as Atletico and Real are behind us, I'm fairly confident we'll win the league come the end of the season. I think Villarreal and Sevilla both have to drop off the pace at some point. Although, to be fair, I've been saying that all season long and neither of them have started doing it yet. So we might be in a situation where one of the big three doesn't even end up in next season's Champions League. But I mentioned we had some financial troubles. I'm going to claim it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It does clear up then. So it's almost as if it's to do with this transfer debt, which I'm fairly confident was here when I got here. I don't think that's my fault. But yeah, we're not in danger of failing FFP, which is the issue we always had at Bayern Munich. They've just decided this is an issue, and I've been told to cut the wage budget. So cutting the wage budget, number one, was Mbappe's gone. He was on £400,000 a week and just wasn't really getting in the team. So he's gone back to Paris Saint-Germain for only £2.5 million. Wage budget was the primary concern, and he wanted to go back. We did get a £10 million offer from somebody else, which I also accepted, but he really wanted to go back to PSG. Who am I to stop him? And it looks like he's done quite a good job going back. And let's face it, if we do end up there next, we'll link back up with him. And I want to stay in his good books if that happens. So he's gone, and there's going to be others having to go too. As much as I didn't like what had to happen last year when we had to loan out all our fringe players, someone like Sid is on £275,000 a week. This is why we're in financial problems. He's our 5th choice centre-back. Although, to be fair, Hendricks isn't really ever going to get a game there. Or he might now if Sid goes. But we've got teams willing to pay 100% of his wages, so he'll go out on loan to one of them. And there's a few others who meet that criteria as well. We need to solve this problem. Apparently, they're disappointed that we haven't won La Liga. I'd be impressed if we'd managed to win it by this point, but I don't want to be struggling. This got down to a C+ at one point before form turned around. So we're going to continue trying to trim the fat. I guess you'll see more of that in the next episode. So we've got 2 games fairly close together. So we are still playing the Diamond. This is the team that's going to be facing Sevilla. Because of the comeback for Leonard, he is still getting game time. Remember this guy? We gave him a squad number. We gave him Mbappe's squad number. That's how long it took him to make his debut. He was money well spent. But then, to be fair, we've not played with any wingers. We've still got... What was the winger's name? The Argentina one, Calidio, who's not going to get in the team if we're playing a Diamond either. So players like him, he's on 150,000 a week. Brackbien is on £155,000 a week. Those two could probably both go, and it's not a big deal. That's £300,000. Sid is another almost £300,000. We're getting closer to our wage budget then. We've promoted this guy from the B team because he got in a grump that he wasn't already in the first team. And to be fair, 3-star current ability, 4-star potential, 22 years old, homegrown, not a bad player. The only problem is he's got Gila and Navillo ahead of him, who are both also homegrown and both better than him. So I don't expect him to get a lot of game time, but at least as a homegrown player, it helps with our squad registration stuff. So there's going to be lots more squad fiddling going on before the end of January. But let's hopefully push Sevilla, start to push Sevilla down the league today. We've got Bajic in goal, a back four of Messias, Paredes, Banfalvi and Krajju, Camavinga at the base of the midfield, Van der Veen and Hendricks ahead of him, Novillo behind Correa and Leonard up front. Let's get into the game. Let's hopefully score a whole load of goals. Another 11-0 win would be a lot of fun because I enjoyed it very much. As I was watching it, I did think, I'm glad this isn't in a video because this would be a half-hour long match. I don't think I've ever edited a match before on YouTube, but I think I'd probably have to in an 11-0 because it took a long time to get through that match. But I'd take that. I don't mind a long video if it means we can beat Sevilla 11-0. We've already got a much better goal difference than the two teams above us, although it is fairly similar to Atletico. To me, it looks like it's going to be a race between us and Atletico, although Real Madrid's still very much in the mix as well. And I imagine both of them are looking at this game and thinking, right, this is where one of us knocks Sevilla down a peg or two and we get back to the old way of doing things here in Spain. None of this potentially letting other teams have a chance of winning the league. Hendricks plays it forwards, finds Leonard, who turns beautifully. He had Correa in space alongside him and chose not to use him like a silly old goose. And Paredes plays it all the way back to Bajic, who will hopefully get things moving forward for us again. Plays it all the way back to Paredes, who finds Banfalvi. We're just faffing around playing the ball between our defenders, which always worries me. Get the ball forward. We're playing a vertical tiki-taka. It's not about get the ball forward, although that's what we've done there. Krajju hasn't won many penalties this year, and Leonard hasn't scored many goals. Last year, we scored twice there because Krajju gets fouled for one goal, and Leonard scores the header for the other one. I don't know if that's how football officially works, but it would have worked like that last year. Talking of penalties, I think we've won one here. I don't know who got fouled, but the free kick came in from the right-hand side. We have got a penalty, and it's Hendricks to step up to take it to hopefully put us 1-0 up. And it's not only saved, it looked like it was going wide as well. I think it was maybe going to hit the post. Frustration. Van der Veen, in-swinging corner, finds Banfalvi, and it's straight at the goalkeeper as well. Do you ever get the feeling it's not quite going your way? That seems to be what's happening in this match. We need to G everybody up a little bit in this second half. I think Sevilla have got a couple of players they've signed off us in their team. I've got a feeling that Solis they've got in their attacking midfield position. I think he was a youngster who they nicked off of us. We certainly had one with that name. Right, let's get assertive. I'm not happy with your performance out there. That's fired everybody up. We're already playing attacking. We're already playing two strikers. I'm looking at the bench for players who could come on and maybe change the game for us. Gila, Posibon, Brakbien are the obvious attacking changes. Obviously, Vermonti is always a positive introduction to a game as well. Ruben Neves coming on for Sevilla, showing that it's far too soon to be winding down Vermonti and Camavinga because, I mean, Neves we sold when I first arrived. He was 35 when I sold him, and he's still playing regularly for a team that are above us in the league. Krajju finds Van der Veen, plays it forward to Correa. He's got Leonard ahead of him, and also, in fact, that wasn't Leonard. That must have been Novillo who was there ahead of him. Messias now with the chance to cross from the left. Cross does come in, and it falls to Leonard, and the ball's just bobbling around in the area. Correa's there, but he can't get the shot away, and we are getting so many opportunities. We're dominating this game, but just not getting the breakthrough. We're going to ask for some passion now. Krajju skips past his man like he's not there. He's dancing into the penalty area. Leonard, Van der Veen, everyone's having shots. Hendricks from range hits the crossbar. I mean, how have we not scored a goal yet in this match? There's only 20 minutes to go. Sevilla are just defending desperately and getting away with it. We're going to bring Gila on in midfield. Van der Veen's going to have to drop a little bit deeper, but Gila's a good attacking option. We don't have a striker on the bench, which is ridiculous. I wonder if we go to the 4-3-3 and just try something a little bit different. Because we've got Leonard, who's just been rubbish. We can bring... I'm going to bring Posibon on. Everyone's screaming, no! But I'm going to bring Brakbien on as well. We're going to make a triple change, all in one go. We're going to try and just do something different and see if it gets us the breakthrough, because we're not getting the breakthrough doing what we were doing. So let's try something new. I'm going to demand more as well as soon as the opportunity presents itself. There we go. And hopefully we can find the breakthrough. But it's Ruben Neves to get the customary goal for the team that we've battered all the way through. We've had this shape of match so many times this season. Van der Veen plays it forward. There's nobody there because we took our striker off. Why is this guy, that's Bratbier, not chasing that at all? This is only the second game he's played for us, and he did not look up for it there even a little bit. Somebody chased down the goalkeeper, for goodness sake. Correa eventually did. We have got Correa on as an advance forward, haven't we? Yeah, that's all right then. Because he was playing a complete forward role in the other system. Bajic now. He's got options. Just get the ball forward, lads. Come on. Can't do another team shout yet. Van der Veen. I mean, it's some nice control of the ball there. Posibon. First appearance for him for ages. He is now trained as a central midfielder as well, but he's not been playing there. Kryju dances into the area. It falls to Bradby, and there we go. I always had faith in him. There's your new boy. That's what we spent all that money on in the summer. That's why he's been cashing £155,000 a week checks since August without having to do any work. He's put us 1-0 up in the 78th minute, and it's just an old-school Barcelona goal from last year. Kryju dancing down one wing, and the fella on the other wing, which for a lot of last year was Mbappe, coming in as an inside forward to grab a goal. And it is a route to goal we haven't had as part of this diamond, so I'm claiming that one as tactical genius. We recognised we needed to do that. We changed the system, and we've gone ahead and hopefully won the game. We've just killed it off. There's not been another highlight. Lovely stuff. Just what the doctor ordered. That was a good win because Sevilla were very, very hard to break down in that game. And what that means is 20 games gone, we're now 1 point behind Villarreal, who are still top of the league, and right back into this title mix. Still disappointed. What do I have to do to please this board? Right, a couple of changes for the Elche game there. Milaniemi comes back in at left back. Vermonti comes in at the base of the midfield. Gila in behind Navillo. The reason we didn't have Renan Vitor on the bench is because he's injured. He also wants to go out on loan, but he's our only backup striker now, so he will definitely be sticking around. Sid has gone out on loan for the rest of the season to Paris Saint-Germain. They're paying his full wages. And we've also had offers from a number of clubs to take Colidio on loan for the rest of the season and pay all of his wages, which that would bring us down to about £6.5 million a week on a 6.1 million budget, which I think would probably take this away. We'd probably be okay then. I don't think we need to loan anybody else. The other obvious one, I guess, would be Powell's, who isn't getting near game time at the moment because of having Camavinga and Vermonti basically rotating his position. So he's on about 150,000 a week as well. So if Colidio doesn't get the job done, we'll try and get Powell's out, who we can't even fit in our Champions League squad at the moment. We might be able to now, but we couldn't before because we had too many players. Right, a team such as ours should be winning this game without too many problems at all. Couldn't agree more. This lot are down in a relegation battle, not quite as far down as Real were, who we beat 11-0, but it's still a game where I'm expecting to win relatively comfortably. Paredes with the header there. It's defended valiantly by the Elche defender. Gila now trying to burst into the box, beats his man, beats another man, and Philippe Leonard's there. 9th goal of the season. He only scores against the rubbish teams now, but at least he's scoring again. There was a while where he wasn't scoring against anyone. So slowly but surely, let's get him back into some form so that when the Champions League starts up again in the next episode, which is Manchester City we've got in the first knockout round, which seems like an unreasonably hard tie. But by the time we face them, hopefully, Leonard's going to be back in scoring form, because without Mbappe knocking around as a safety net anymore, especially with Vitor injured and still completely unproven, if we can't get Leonard back to where he was, we are going to struggle for goals, which is always the worry about letting Mbappe go. But we couldn't afford to keep him and pay him £400,000 a week to sit on our bench, which is what he was doing. Navillo then charging at the defenders. Vermonti plays it onto Hendricks, out wide to Milaniemi, who's fresh, having not played in that previous game. Cross comes over, Correa's there, it's back off the crossbar, and more desperate defending. They're quite good at this last-ditch defending, lark. Once the ball gets into their 6-yard box, they seem to have some organised panic back there and just get the ball away quite easily. They seem to want it more than we do, which I guess is fair enough. They're fighting for their lives against a team they're expecting to batter them, whereas we're pretty confident we're going to win 3 or 4-0, even though they've let them equalise. So perhaps wanting it more is important. I might need to G this lot up at half-time. That is a 3-tier stand all the way around. That middle tier looks very, very small. How do you see from the back of that middle tier? The top tier looks like it's at too steep an angle over the top of it. I don't want to see you replay. I'm skipping replays because I'm expecting this to be a really long match when we win 7 or 8-0. And I don't want it to go on for hours. But the fact it's becoming worryingly competitive means we might start watching replays. Leonard is in and scores again. He's going to do what he did the last time we played against someone at this level. He's going to absolutely tear them apart. A 10th goal of the season for him now, which I think puts him level with Van der Veen as top goal scorer. I imagine he'll be ahead. He'll be our club top. Oh no, but Correa's got more than that, I think. I think Correa's probably on 12 or 13 goals by now. We probably saw in the last match. I just didn't take note because in my head, Correa's still a backup player, even though he's been playing consistently all season long. And not only that, he's the man who history will show forced Kylian Mbappe out of Barcelona, because it was effectively Correa being better than Pozibon or Calidio as second winger options to complement Mbappe. It's him who's forced the tactic change, which in turn is what's forced Mbappe out of the club. Leonard's now got the chance to finish off his hat-trick from the penalty spot before the half-hour mark. Leonard steps up and scores, and it's 3-1 to Barcelona, and it is going to become a romp now, hopefully. We're absolutely dominating the match, and that's how we like it. Love a bit of domination around these parts. Right, we don't need to see a replay of a penalty going in. I'm already looking down at the bench thinking in terms of not even game-changing stuff like I usually am if you've got your bingo cards out. We're looking for players who need a bit of game time. So Berisic, who's been so injury-prone all season long, it'd be handy to give him a little bit of time, not only for his benefit, but also just to give Kryju a little bit of a rest, who did have a short injury spell himself, and Banfalvi deputised at right back for 3 or 4 games. But Bratbien's still finding his way here at Barcelona. Leon would very much appreciate half an hour probably playing in Navio's spot. So that's exactly what he's going to get. Let's have a proper look at him as a youngster. Powell's is looking on flabbergasted from the stands, not even on the bench. And this young lad has just come past and usurped him because he's more attack-minded. Right, Hendricks can come off for... Bratbien, I guess. We'll get him into the midfield and see what he looks like. He's a winger, really, but let's just get minutes into him. He had a long injury. He had a long spell where he wasn't even getting selected for the bench. I was supposed to take Kryju off as well. Nobody reminded me. I even talked about it and then didn't do it. Goodness me. We'll drop a little bit of praise as well to hopefully just motivate them to finish things off. And hopefully this is us scoring our 4th goal here. I said 3 or 4. Gil has scored from here enough times this season for me to know that he can stick this top corner. Oh, he's hit the crossbar this time, and it's cleared. And it looks like we're going to have to settle for 3 unless there's another goal coming from somewhere. But it's actually the unpronounceable opposition who've got the counter-attack on. But Berisic, he's not got any fear attached to the injury proneness, has he? That was a decent slide tackle to just nip a counter-attack in the bud. That's why, when I arrived, he was considered one of the better players at the club. A proper world-class fullback. He showed it there. Just wish he stayed fit enough to show it a bit more often. Right, I am pleased with that result. A win is a win. We didn't ever look like losing, so can't really complain too much. And that means we end the episode 1 point behind Villarreal at the top of the league, but presumably the board's still disappointed that we haven't won the Liga yet. What can they possibly be expecting from me? Right, tomorrow, it's not tomorrow, is it? Because it's Saturday. Monday's video will be the Man City first leg and probably that game. The 2 legs are quite close together. There's usually more of a gap. I wonder, we might even go all the way to the second leg. We'll see. Because then we could do the second leg and Atletico. That's probably a better option, isn't it? Second leg and Atletico. Let's not drag things out too much. Second leg against City, Atletico in the league. That's what we get on Monday. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.